Tara, no tayo TV.
Sige, buksan mo na.
Wait lang, pugulo na sila.
Buksan mo na.
Ang susunod na programa ay rated G. Ito ay pwede sa lahat ng manonood.
Bawat bata may tanong,
Ba't ganito? Ba't ganon?
hayaang buksan ang isipan.
Sa science to agham, tayo na sa sinisera. Buksan natin ang siyensya,
Buksan ang pag-iisip,
tayo'y likas na scientist. Tayo na sa sinisera, buksan natin ang siyensya. Kinabukasan ng ating bayan, siguradong makakamtan. Sa daigdig ng agham, tuklasin ang kaalaman. Halina't lumipad sa daigdig ng isipan. Tayo na sa siniskwela, tuklasin natin ang siyensya.
buksan ang pag-iisip.
Tayo'y likas na scientist. Tayo na sa siniskwela, tuklasin natin ang siyensya. Kinabukasan ng ating bayan, siguradong makakamtan.
Kaya habang maaga,
Mag-aral ng siyensya sa teknolohiya, ang buhay ay gaganda. Tayo na sa siniskwela, tuklasin natin ang siyensya.
buksan ang pag-iisip.
Tayo'y likas na scientist. Tayo na sa siniskwela, tuklasin natin ang siyensya. Kinabukasan ng ating bayan, siguradong makakaganda.
Kailan tuklasin natin ang siyensya.
Daigdig ay sasaya, salamat sa siyensya.
Ballistics involve the study of firearms and ammunition. It's the area of forensic science which applies the scientific method to solving crimes. Ballistics is the study of projectiles in flight. The word is derived from the Greek ballin, meaning to throw. The first documented forensics ballistic case in the UK was in 1835. Henry Goddard, a Metropolitan Police officer, was investigating a murder where the victim had been shot in a lead ball projectile. Calvin Hooker Goddard was a forensic scientist, army officer, scholar, researcher, and pioneer in forensic ballistics, who lived from October 30, 1891 until February 20, 1955. Ballistics is important because it is used to identify the type of weapon that was used in the commission of the crime and the other details of the crime. Fingerprint. A fingerprint is an expression left by the friction fringe of a woman's finger. The recovery of partial fingerprints from a crime scene is an important method of forensic science. Sir Edward Henry, a British Inspector General of Police in the province of Bengal in the late 80s, is credited with taking the research of Sir Francis Galton, who published the first book about fingerprints and their forensic utility, and using it to develop the fingerprint classification system that led to the system used today. One of the most important uses of fingerprint is to help investigators link one crime scene to another involving the same person. Fingerprints identification also help investigators to track a criminal record, their previous arrests and convictions to aid in sentencing, probation, parole, and pardoning decisions.
Fingerprint scanner.
What is fingerprint scanner? Fingerprint scanner are collected at a crime scene or on items of evidence from a crime have been used in forensic science to identify suspects, victims, and other persons who touch a surface. Fingerprint identification emerged as an important system within police agencies in the late 19th century, when it replaced anthropometric measurement as a more reliable method for identifying persons having a prior record, often under a false name, in a criminal record repository. Fingerprinting has served all governments worldwide during the past 100 years. So, to provide an identification of criminals. Fingerprints are the fundamental tool in every police agency for the identification of people with a criminal history. Then next is, who are discovered the fingerprint scanner? A fingerprint bureau was established in 1897 after the Council of the Governor General approved a committee report that fingerprint should be used for the classification of criminal records. The bureau employees Asasul Haki and Hemchandra Bose have been credited by the primary development of a fingerprint classification system, eventually named after the supervisor Sir Edwin Richard Henry. Computer investigation. Computer investigation are like computer forensic. Computer forensic is the application of investigation and analysis technique to gather and preserve evidence from a particular computing device in a way that is suitable for presentation in a court of law. The goal of computer forensic is to perform a structured investigation and maintain a documented chain of evidence to find out exactly what happened on a computing device and who was responsible for it. A computer forensic, which is sometimes referred to a computer forensics, a science essential is data recovery with the legal compliance guidelines to make the information admissible in legal proceedings. The term digital forensic and cyber forensic are often used as synonyms for computer forensic. Digital forensic starts with the collection of information in a way that maintains its integrity. Investigator then analyze the data or system to determine if it was changed, how it was changed, and who made the change. The use of computer forensic isn't always tied to a crime. The forensic process is also used as part of data recovery processes to gather that from a car server, failed drive, the format, operating system, or other situation where a system has unexpectedly stopped working.
Naxum Battery is a camera system incorporating an audio and video recording device. This camera is designed for use in soft environmental conditions and catered in law enforcement, corrections, military, and security activities. Axon's Enterprise Incorporation is an American company based in Scottsdale, Arizona that develops technology and weapons products for military, law enforcement, and civilians.
Why the database investigation are important. Data collection and analysis is one of the most important aspects of conducting research. High quality data allows researchers to interpret findings accurately, act as a foundation for future studies, and give credibility to the research. As such, research often needs to go under the scanner to be free of suspicion of fraud and data falsification. At that times, even an intentional error in database could be viewed as research misconduct. Hence, data integrity is essential to protect your reputation and the reliability of your study.
StarTrace is a vehicle-mounted GPS launcher that uses technology to provide real-time information to the police. This allows officers to track a suspect car from a distance. It is a GPS-enabled technology that allows officers to tag a vehicle, back off, and then virtually monitor the locations and actions of the suspect vehicle. Chief Darrell Lewis said, once the vehicle comes to a stop, the officers are able to safely approach the vehicle and take the suspect into custody.
Forensic scientists examine and analyze evidence from crime scenes and elsewhere to develop objective findings that can assist in the investigation and prosecution of perpetrators of crime or absolve an innocent person from suspicion. Forensic is important because it examines and analyzes evidence from crime scenes and elsewhere to develop objective findings that can consist in the investigation and prosecution of perpetrators of crime or absolve an innocent person from suspicion.
Surveillance technology is used to monitor individuals' digital and physical actions and communications. Common forms include data gathering apps on smartphones and facial recognition software in smart security camera systems. Surveillance technology is ostensibly used to improve workplace safety, monitor employee productivity, inform market research, and increase protection for valuable assets. But it can often act cross-line, becoming intrusive rather than protective. Surveillance technology is used across the public and private sectors, usually for security, gathering consumer insights, or monitoring employee productivity.
Criminal justice system. It is composed of institutions, laws, and processes designed to maintain social order, enforce law, and address criminal behavior. It plays a crucial role in ensuring public safety, upholding the rule of law, and providing justice for both victims and offenders. Of the criminal justice system is multifaceted and serves several purposes including maintaining social order, providing justice, protecting individual rights, and rehabilitation and reintegration. Criminal profiling. Criminal profiling is a behavioral analysis technique used in law enforcement to identify characteristics, motives, and potential patterns of a behavioral of an unknown offender based on evidence from crime scene, victimology, and other relevant information. And it was pioneered by the FBI's Behavioral Science Unit led by agents Robert Ressler and John E. Douglas in the 1970s. And criminal profiling is important in criminology as it assists in narrowing down potential suspects, providing insight into their motivations, behavior patterns, and characteristics. It aids law enforcement agency in prioritizing investigations, understanding offenders' modus operandi, and developing strategies to apprehend them, ultimately aiding in solving complex crimes. Law enforcement. Law enforcement serves as a vital component of society by upholding the rule of law, protecting public safety, preventing crime, and maintaining order. Its use extends beyond just enforcing laws and includes engaging with communities, investigating crimes, and contributing to a sense of security and justice. And the law enforcement agency around the world utilize various technologies to enhance their capabilities and improve public safety. And here are some examples of technology commonly used in law enforcement. First is body-worn cameras. These cameras are worn by law enforcement officers to record their interaction with the public. They can provide valuable evidence, enhance transparency, and help in resolving disputes. Second is drones. Unmanned aerial vehicles or drones are used by law enforcement for area surveillance, search and rescue operation, crowding monitoring, and gathering real-time situational awareness in hard-to-reach areas. Third and last one is data management and record system. Law enforcement agency use computerized system to manage case files, recording incidents, maintaining criminal databases, and streamline administrative tasks.
So let's talk about victimology. So victimology is a branch of criminology that scientifically studies the relationship between an injured party and an offender by examining the causes and the nature of the consequent suffering. So what is the purpose of victimology? The purpose of victimology is aimed to accurately, critically, and objectively describe the victim to better understand victims, crime, criminals, and forensic issues. Since pagdating sa process ng criminal justice system, sila ang pinaka-nakakalimutan. So victimology can be attributed to a few key figures in criminology, including Hans von Hentig, Benjamin Mendelssohn, Stephen Schaffer, and Marvin Wolfgang. So the one or the person who coined victimology is Benjamin Mendelssohn. So why is it important to study victimology as a criminology student? So as a criminology student, it is important to study victimology because it is impossible to completely and comprehensively understand criminal behaviors, which is the goal of criminology, without also understand the relationship between the perpetrator of a crime with its victim. So let's talk about cybercrime. Cybercrime is criminal activity that either targets or uses a computer network, or a network device. Most cybercrime is committed by cybercriminals or hackers who want to make money or profit. However, occasionally, cybercrime aims to damage computers or networks for reason other than profit. So who are known as cybercriminals? We have cybercriminals, hackers, and threat actors. So cyber criminals hack and infiltrate computer systems with malicious intent, while hackers only try to find new and innovative ways to use the system, both good and bad. So what is cybercrime law of the Philippines? Republic Act number 10175 or the Cybercrime Prevention Act of 2012 created the Office of Cybercrime or OOC within the DOJ and designated it as the central authority in all matters relating to international mutual assistance and extradition for cybercrime and cyber-related matters. So let's proceed to drug-related crime, or most directly, it is a crime to use, possess, manufacture, or distribute drugs classified as having a potential for abuse, like cocaine, heroin, marijuana, and amphetamines are examples of drugs classified to have abuse potential. So what is drugs? Drugs is any substance that is either natural or synthetic that stimulates, depresses, or irritates specialized cells. It is any substance that brought about physical, psychological, and behavioral charge. So why is studying drug abuse important? When it comes to drug prevention, knowledge is power. You can learn about why people use drugs and alcohol and how use of the substances can turn into an addiction. Using this information, you can teach your children to help prevent them from failing or from falling into use and addiction. So we have Republic Act 6425, otherwise known as the Dangerous Drugs Act of 1972, as amended, and providing funds for its implementation. Under this act, the Dangerous Drugs Board, or the DDB, remains as the policy-making and strategy formulating body in the planning and formulation of policies and program on drug prevention and control.